Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. It's a fact of life. We're all going to get old. Yes. Sorry for the news flash. Sorry for the surprise. It's going to happen. And at some point, you may be caring for your parents, or you may be a caregiver of somebody who's older than you. And there's a lot of challenge that comes with that, a lot of emotion attached to it, maybe guilt. We're going to look at all of that today in terms of elder care. And it's just a piece of what she does as a transformational coach, just working with people all the time. She is our professional of the year, and she is beautifully broken. And so am I. And so are you. Beautifully Broken is the name of her practice. Dawn Manderfeld joins us once again. How are you doing today?
You know, it's a cloudy day here, but my heart's happy. So yeah, it's a good day.
Same. It's moving along well so far.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those slow moving mornings, but actually kind of very welcoming.
The caring for our parents seems to be a trend now. Maybe because our parents are living longer. I have a close friend, actually two, and their parents, and they don't even know each other. And both their fathers were in the hospital having surgery, different hospitals, on the same day, Tuesday. And they're all a part of that, have to be at the hospital. They're both pretty much self-sufficient, but it's not hands-off. It's, both of these people I'm speaking of are directly involved with the care of their parents. But you know what? A year ago, two, they never expected to be.
Yeah.
It all kind of changes, right?
It can change actually overnight.
Yeah.
It can change with a fall. It can change with a heart attack. It can change with a stroke. Memory loss. Sometimes doesn't come on slow. It can come on kind of all of a sudden. And a lot of people our age, I'm going to say our age because we're the baby boomer thing. So this is the age now where we are getting to care for our parents. And I think a lot of it is really expensive to put your parents into transitional care or into a nursing home. I mean, I don't know if I should say state or what I should really say, but they will rob you silly when it comes to the care of your parents. And we are now at a stage where this is like I talk to people every day on it. It's something that I do besides the counseling and life coaching that I do. I still will help people hands-on with their elderly care, help them with their trusts and how they're going to set everything up. But it's becoming a very huge thing. People are not putting their parents in nursing homes anymore. They're trying to figure out how to navigate keeping them home as long as they can. Yeah.
And with that comes challenge, comes expense. I had a conversation last night, no exaggeration, with one of the people I mentioned, 10:30 at night. And I said, I shopped around for newer insurance for me. It's just that the rates are just insane. I'm self-pay. And I got a substantial discount meeting a friend of a friend. It was what looks like it's going to be great. I'm happy. And then I said, about your dad, and she says he's paying like $1,000 here and $1,000 there.
Yep.
And I'm like, why don't you talk to this guy? Maybe he could lower it. And she said he would love to, but he doesn't want, and I don't know the logistics of this, but he doesn't want to go on the certain Medicare plan because they use your house as collateral, your place as collateral,
yes.
Right? And he's afraid of that. So for the meanwhile, while he's going through and it's knee replacement surgery, it's been a journey. Let's just put it there. He had an infection with it, and now they redid it. And I'm talking about, we're coming up on a year of just this journey, and he doesn't want to do it, and that's his choice. It's all good, but it just when you start digging into invoices, bills, insurance, doctor visits, it's a lot, not only on our parents, but on us.
It is because it's like a part of the economy that people now are cashing in on.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even get a share ride at a decent price to have help with an elderly parent to take them to an appointment if they're in a wheelchair. I mean, there's now a new trust that I am learning about and that I have been getting some information on that can be done that would protect your parents' equities in their home from being taken from a nursing home or an assisted living home. And I don't know why it took so many years for them to literally come up with this, but there's no reason why a person's inheritance should be lost because of needing care for their parent.
Right.
It should never come down to that big of a decision. And literally, people don't have a choice. But I'm learning now that there are choices that people can have, and I'm trying to think of what the trust is called. It's new. Like I said, I'm just learning about it now. I'm going to put it on my website once I learn more about it after I have my meeting. But literally, they will take your homestead, everything you have, and they will put it as collateral. Then if your parent dies, and if you're on Medicare, if you're on Medicaid, if you're on some type of state government issued insurance, you will have to pay it back. So it is a lose-lose situation. So I also have friends that are remodeling their home to move their parents in. You know, they're hiring help during the day for a little bit because it's an eighth of the cost. I mean, we're talking $7,000 to $20,000 a month. Now, that's the average. Like that's the average is 7,000 or more for the care of your parent. And then not only that, but what kind of care are they going to get when there's so many other people there? And then they say that, you know, they have lack of employees. So then they want you to come in. And I'm saying this from experience. I've had clients have to go to transitional care for a while. They literally told us, we do not have the staff to accommodate the needs of your loved one. So you will either need to pay, come in, or have people come in to assist them during the day.
In the assisted living
I was paid
facility?
to go to the assisted living facility and to help during the day because of the needs of this person. They could not accommodate it.
But you're still paying to stay.
But you're still paying to stay there.
Unbelievable. Instant feedback, Steve at gmail.com if you want to reach out, or 631-319-6275. The challenge here is your back's up against the wall.
Yep.
It's not like, oh, you have option A, B, C, D. No. It's a lot. Depending on finances, logistics, there's only a few choices, but it's life-changing when you're in that situation.
Well, my situation was when my past husband got sick with cancer and he got really bad and it was not safe for him to be home. Our social worker literally said, you either need to stop your job and stay home and care for him, or we need to put him in a home. And this is how much it's going to cost you a month. I couldn't even work 5 jobs to afford what it was going to cost me. It made more sense for me to stay home, get a waiver through the county to care for my husband, to keep him home, even though the pay was much less than what I was making. There was no way I could care for him and make enough money to put him into an assisted living or nursing home. I was doing all the angles trying to figure it out, and it was just best for me to stay home and change all of our bills and do all of that and then, I had a couple friends that were comfortable enough with him that would come over and sit with him so that I could do other little jobs that I can make a pretty good amount on. And it was impossible for me to do a lot of my counseling back then because of all the work he was. And so, yeah, my life pretty much was put on hold.
Unbelievable.
And I didn't have a choice.
It's almost a full-time job going through medical invoices and the insurance, EOB, explanation of benefits, and cross matching them to make sure you're not getting ripped off. And then why did I get charged for this? Why did I get charged for that? I know a personal situation in the last 3 months, I shared with you, I had a skin cancer thing going on there, addressed it, cured, all good, fantastic. I'm happy. My insurance premium is insane, and I still had to pay. I'm still on the hook for $8,000 right now.
Yep.
And I haven't paid a penny of it because I don't want to, number one. Going to have to very soon, but also going through the paperwork. What is this? What is this charge? Should I dispute it? Kelly checks in, High Point, North Carolina, says that my mom had a stroke and me and my two sisters are sharing her care. We often disagree about how it should be done. Do you have any suggestions for that?
Does she kind of share like what their main disagreements are?
She doesn't. She just says a disagreement over the care.
Then I think you literally have to sit down and journal what kind of care your mother needs, who's going to do what part of her care. Can you meal prep when one is there? Does one meal prep for the other one? Because the other one's going to do keeping her body clean, making sure her meds are all set up. There are different things that you can do to make a list of what, which one of you is best at what, and put down what you are best at, and then break it up into those two parts. So this week, this person does this stuff. This week, this person does this. The following week, switch. See how it goes. And work on it a little bit to just kind of see what areas you are gifted at best at doing that doesn't make you frustrated or doesn't make you upset. Another thing is a lot of people don't realize you can get what we call a waiver to actually get paid to take care of our loved ones. And so I encourage you guys, if there's any like stresses going on there about someone's putting more hours in than the other person, or someone can't get these hours off or whatever, then literally reach out and try to see if you are in a county that you can qualify for a waiver, because that will take a lot of stress off of the expenses that are going to be involved in the care of your mom. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I wasn't even aware of the waiver, so I appreciate that for Kelly. And, oftentimes, again, she doesn't address it. It sounds like they are together on the care.
Yep.
But we don't know, is it the type of care, the situation, the doctors, the procedures, or your point, I'm glad you brought it up, sharing the care.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of animosity that can kick in at that point where you feel I'm doing it all. What do you? And with friends, I've experienced this, especially with one friend caring for her parents, and her siblings live out of state. So for the major stuff, they'll fly in or drive, but then they're gone. And then I said, you know what? You've been taking care of it all these years. When they moved away, you were still there. Maybe not the level of care that they need now, but you were there. Like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
A lot of resentment.
Another important thing, though, too, is remember, if you guys need a break, figure out if you can hire someone to come in. Ask one of your mom's friends if they can come and visit. Ask if you have a friend who can come in and do her hair.
Right.
Take time for yourselves also.
Yeah.
And if you can, bring somebody in to give you each a break every week.
I have another friend who is dealing with the care of their partner, and the partner financially is doing really well, but doesn't hire anybody because she's squirreling the money. So, yeah. So where does that fall? That falls on, the person I'm connected with. And I say, have her hire somebody. You need a break. Go to the gym, do something. But then, again, all these things, this is where coaching comes in, because I don't even know. I'm done at that point. I don't even know what to say, because to me, it's black and white. You got the money, hire like a couple hours a week or whatever, to give your partner, a little bit of
Well,
a
it
break.
comes to the point where you say either you let me bring someone in or you're going to have to go away.
Yes. Well, I
Sometimes you literally need to put that in front of them.
completely agree. And I even suggested that. I said, you know what? Maybe you need to just say, listen, I need a break. I'm out of here. I'll be back in 2 days, whatever it might be. I believe we have a call. Who's this?
Oh, yes. Hello. My name is Elijah.
Say your first name again, please.
Oh, yes. Hello. My name is Elijah.
Elijah, how are you?
I'm doing good, sir. How you doing today?
Very well, very well. You have a question for us?
Well, yes, I do. So, my mother is in her late 70s, and she unfortunately has dementia. I need to put her in a good nursing home, and she's fighting me. She doesn't really want to go. What do you think I can do to get her the best care?
Elijah, what level of dementia does your mom have? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. I don't really know like the level. I'm not too familiar with levels with dementia. But it's pretty bad.
Hmm.
Do you have other siblings?
Yes, I have a sister.
Okay, so far, what have you guys been doing? Have you been trying to share in taking care of her or spending time with her?
Yes, we actually try to look into it a lot and see ways to get her brain functioning. For her to try to not remember old things, but remember her old habits, her old routine, things that she used to do. So we just try to have her doing things like that, keep her active. Try not working out specifically, but keep her active within like walking around, doing things like that.
Okay, so has it come to the point where it's getting to be too much for you and your sister?
Yes, just a little. That's why we were thinking about the nursing home. But she doesn't want to go, so that's why we're trying to see what we can do to get her the best care.
Okay, so in your area, do you have a place where you can bring elderly people for a couple days a week, where you can drop them off at 8 o'clock and pick them up like at 3, and that you could be able to do that like 2 to 3 days a week?
I may be able to. I will have to look around in the area and see where's locally that have places that, do such thing as that where I could, drop her off and pick her up.
I would start there because then she can build friendships. So I would look into nursing homes and nursing care that have facilities like that where you can try their services for, like I said, 2 or 3 days a week. And then as she does that, she can get more familiar with it and get more friendships. And it might be an easier transition for you.
Okay.
So that's where I would start.
Hmm.
And remember, you can always reach out to my website too.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, Elijah, thanks for checking in. Good luck to you and your family.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Yeah, that's a challenge. I wanted to even go there. And I see where you're saying mom doesn't really know what life is like in a different situation, like a facility or whatever it might be.
Yep.
You don't know until you know. It might be wonderful. She may walk in there and then, hit it off with somebody and say, oh, my, that's like vacation. This is fantastic.
Well, the interesting thing is dementia is different than Alzheimer's.
Hmm.
And with dementia, if they get so familiar in their own surroundings that a part of their brain isn't even really working anymore to see, to keep it active.
Sure.
And they're doing great at making her, walking and keeping her active that way. But if she has specific friends, like let's say if it's your mom, if she has specific friends, ask the friends to start coming around just to visit with her, just to sit with her, to just keep that other part of her brain going a little bit longer before it's, not there.
Um, the reluctancy to make change, like in Elijah's situation with his mom fighting, going into a facility or just a different situation. Almost the same thing in some regards of, the parent that doesn't want to stop driving, but needs to stop driving. Yeah. How do you deal with those? How do you, that all of this is a tough situation. Yeah.
Well, it comes to the point where you become the parent and you really don't have a choice. And
Yeah.
they're not going to like it. My husband's dealing with that with his mom right now with certain things. And it is not an easy thing. It is probably one of the hardest things you will do as an adult to your parent. But it comes to the point where you are the ones that have to make the logical, safe decision for your parent. They're not going to like you for a while. They're not going to understand it. They're going to get frustrated, but you really don't have a choice. There comes a point where you have to just say, I'm really sorry this is happening, but these are the decisions that we're making. We're not doing it to make you mad. We're not doing it to make you angry. We know you're going to be sad about this, but this is what's going to happen, and this is when it's starting.
To me, this is the true definition of tough love.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the driving thing was through it. Would had a family friend would call me up and say, just want to let you know, there's another yellow scrape on your mom's car. Thanks for letting me know. And it was just uncomfortable to start dropping the hints of, you can't drive anymore. Fortunately, she had some health stuff going on. And then she realized after some surgery, like, I really can't drive. I was like, oh, thank you. It worked out in my case, but yeah, so tough, taking the keys away, the independence, or I guess you got to find other ways for them to get around to make sure, that they're not stuck in a house.
Yep. It's just not a fun place to be.
No, because you want your parents to be happy, right?
Yeah. But you do, especially when they're getting older. You don't want to take things away from them that they enjoy, but sometimes you don't have a choice. You really don't. It's not only for their safety, it's for your safety and everybody else on the road when it comes to driving.
Sure.
And that's how it was with one of my clients. I just said, I see you have another big ding in the front of your car. I said, did you go out last night? Because she's a night owl. Yeah, I decided I wanted to go out and I wanted to get a snack. And she said it was the weirdest thing. She goes, someone tried to drive me off the road. And I'm just like, oh, no.
There's always an excuse.
And she doesn't have any children. And her siblings really aren't involved in her life at all. And her husband passed away. That's how I met her. I was caring for him. And now I care for her. I help care for her.
Wow.
Do all of her stuff. But then she had an incident. Totally destroyed one side of her arm, whatever, her main one. Can't drive, can't do anything. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. Because she just said, I can't drive anymore. And I said, no, you really can't. And she said, okay, well, here's the keys, And so we've just had her car in storage for the last almost 3 years now.
Wow. The universe intervened.
Yeah.
And funny, you just reminded me in the situation of my mom and her car, she passed 6 years ago, and hadn't driven for about 3 prior to that. Her car was old. It was really, really, really old. The family friend that would tell me about the dings and scratches and things like that, he's a car guy. I gave him her car.
Oh.
He fixed it for his kid, for a while. Yeah. I don't even know, where the car is now, but I just said, here, dude, just come by and get it. It needs a little bit of work there on the engine. It's been a while since sitting there, but it's like, you deserve it, just for the connection. You connect with families, seniors. I really never knew this aspect of what you provide. Tell me a little bit about that.
About what specifically?
How you help people who are aging, and with all of these types of decisions.
I literally will help them with everything. I will work with them on getting their bills paid, setting up their home so it's safe with them, bringing them to doctor appointments, making sure that they have health directives, that what they want done is going to be done according to what their wishes are. In the last couple of years, I've gotten into helping them with doing a trust, doing their wills, bringing in other care if I'm not there, figuring out their PT, getting all their medical supplies, setting them up on medical issues that they may have depending on what it is. If they need, care, I can help provide people who are caregivers that do that. I literally run their homes.
I had no idea. I really didn't. a whole different aspect of what you do. Wow.
Waivers, I help people if they want to keep their family at home. I direct them in the right way to get a waiver. I've actually worked with, their social workers and spoke with them and talked with them and helped them come up and do evaluations on what would be safe for their home to keep them there.
Amazing. And you can pretty much do this for anybody, anywhere, right?
Anywhere. Yeah.
Wow. Honestly, never knew. Oh my gosh, you're worth your weight in gold. I mean, I don't even know where to turn. Where would you turn to get that type of help, support, information? In this regard, it's not just coaching. Like, you facilitate a lot in this aspect. Wow.
Yeah. Thank you.
I had no idea. I think it's amazing. Truly amazing.
Well, a lot of people in this situation need coaching.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know where to start. And I kind of fell into this, even though I started working in a nursing home when I was 16. But in the last 12, 14 years, I had someone just ask, would you be willing to give some time to help me with my parents? And that's when I really just started getting into it, breaking into different things, and just learned a whole lot. But I learned a whole lot with my husband too. Before he passed. I had to learn a whole lot there, a lot earlier than I would think I should have, but I see it as a blessing now.
Yeah, things do happen for a reason. That sets you up to help others. It's almost as if you're a facilitator. You deal with the logistics, and yes, we should take care of that for our parents and all of that. I get that, but when you're deep into it,
yeah,
you don't even want to. It's just like another layer of, oh gosh, it's 10:30 at night. I got to sit here and go through these bills or make these phone call tomorrow, but they're only available 9 to 5. I'm working. Wow. Livingbb.org. Do I have that right?
Yes, you do.
Awesome. And BB, by the way, stands for beautifully broken. And we all are, our families are. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room. It's what it is. And once we're honest about that, healing and help can follow. Thank you for the eye opener into what you do today. Fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it. And thanks for being here. We'll catch up soon.
That sounds good.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Keep a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! It's now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.